news, foreign purchases, and early impacts of the trade measures. Ford is recalling over 200,000 2025-26 Bronco and Bronco Sport vehicles due to a possible instrument panel failure that could leave drivers without key safety information. Owners will be notified starting December 8th to have the software updated at dealerships. 23-year-old Jenny Evaristo of Aurora has died following a two-vehicle crash Sunday afternoon in Hoffman Estates. The crash near Gulf and Bartlett Roads caused one vehicle to strike a tree and catch fire. Bystanders rescued the male occupant, but Evaristo was trapped and later extricated by firefighters. She was airlifted to Loyola University Medical Center, where she later died. Occupants of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Think about it. You take thousands of steps every day. Shouldn't every single one of them feel amazing? Well, with Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins, they can. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to design a shoe that provides amazing arch support for all-day comfort. And best of all, you get all this comfort, stability, and support with the ease of Skechers slip-ins technology. Just slip them on. There's no bending down and no struggling to tie your shoes. Just step in and go. Try Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever comfortable footwear is sold.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Linda Rock sharing newspaper stories from 100 years ago on November 14th, 1925. With 13 new cases of scarlet fever reported today, an indication that the epidemic is reaching serious proportions. Health authorities are seriously considering ordering school children to remain at home for 2 weeks. Though no such proclamation has yet been issued, there is every possibility that it will. With no announcement being made, it is a known fact that the health authorities, both city and state, may issue a proclamation asking every school pupil in the city to remain at home during the Thanksgiving vacation. Yes, and another week on top of that would be of great benefit, one of the health officials suggested.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blade. This afternoon, cloudy with a high near 48, with temperatures falling to around 44. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 29. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 49, with temperatures falling to around 46 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 45 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Finding a reputable business shouldn't require luck or chance. But how can you tell who you can trust? Pro tip, the BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. So think of the BBB as the better, check with the BBB first, because better businesses are honest and commit to high ethical standards bureau. That's why they're better. Always look for the sign of a better business and find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Ding!
Dino's Night Out on WRMN. It's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Dino's Night Out on WRMN 1410. On WRMN, it's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Dino's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
And good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Dino's Night Out. Got a great show for you today. It's a nice day outside, and it's a great day to have a good conversation. In the studio today, we have a fine gentleman. He's been on here once before. His name is Kenn Hundley. And Kenn is the brother to Mr. Hundley from the Chicago Cubs, Randy Hundley. And you know, he's got his own name. He's got his own things that he's doing. So we're going to be talking to him in a few moments. Tagging along with me, I have is David Tees, our very own he's got his own show on Saturdays. He's doing the Fantasy Sports Blitz, which is on Saturday at 9 a.m. But, you know, everybody knows me. They know I don't know the first thing about sports. So I'm going to really test my abilities as far as being an interviewer and see if I could pull this off. So I brought in some reinforcements. So you're wondering, geez, Kenn, why'd you bring this guy? Well, number one, David is a great, great golfer, okay? And you ask him, he'll tell you.
Wow, he's really put me on a pedestal there. Great, great golfer. I love the game.
Well, you tell me how good you are, so I'm believing you. Yeah. But no, he is. He enjoys the game. He likes to play the game. And Kenn here has got a unique story. We're going to just brush on it briefly. Those of you who've already seen Kenn with Matt on the Out to Lunch segment. But he's got like I said, he's got his own credibility. He has his own resume. To be the brother of Randy, that's got to be cool as heck. But to be everything that Kenn has been as well, the whole family, they're, not to use a baseball analogy, they hit it right out of the park, you know? So, I mean, a lot of accolades to your family.
Yeah,
a lot of good genes there.
Absolutely. And my dad was a great ball player, too.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we're going to talk about, I believe, is some of the genes, correct?
Absolutely.
How the genes have a lot to do with what we do and what we don't do.
Yeah.
You know, so just to give a little background, Kenn born in 1949, Virginia. His brother Randy, of course, signed with the pro baseball contract in 1960. So if you could imagine that. But, Kenn has done a lot of different things. You know, he was 21 years old. He says, I'm getting out of this United States. I'm going to go to Canada for a while. So he went there for a little fun. He went there touring around, see what was going on. 16 other countries as well. He's traveled around. So he knows how to talk to a lot of different people. I like that. I like a guy that could kind of think on his feet and be able to go around. In fact, there was a guy, I'll tell the joke later. All right. So then he even bought his first guitar. He was 21 years old. You know, he could already hear the harmonies and the music in his own brain, and he wanted to put them down on something. So he was talking to his brother. He says, hey, I don't have nothing to record this on. So he gave him a 2-track tape recorder. And from that 2-track tape recorder, the inventor that it turned out that Kenn seemed to be, he turned that thing into an 8-track, recorder. So, I mean, this is a guy that, here's a song, here's a beat, able to put it on paper. Looks into something that's already made, knows how to enhance it. And I think that's what, Kenn has done throughout his life. Everything he has gotten into, he's had a variety of different jobs. In fact, he was a movie actor for the longest time. He was on a lot of big shows, NBC soap operas, Santa Barbara, and acting became kind of, I don't know, maybe boring for him because he always wanted to do something different. Does that sum it up pretty good?
Well, yeah. And most actors, they're kind of one-trick ponies. They're dedicated, but they're going down one track. They don't have side stuff. It's like, I got to put all my energy into this. I've never been that guy. My brain wants to do everything.
And you quit that because he wanted to get into this weightlifting equipment. And it's not just weightlifting equipment. There's 1,000 pieces are out there. But Kenn was one of the first guys. Instead of the old cast iron and ugly black, he made this sports equipment so it could be, unisex as well and attract to everybody. He made it white, made it clean, made it fresh. So he always he has an eye for making things better, and that's good. A lot of people would look at a guy like that and they say, "Wow, I don't want this guy around. He's going to take my job." And I bet you that's what you bumped into.
Lots, yes.
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
Unless they need you.
Oh,
and then you're the best friend.
Sure, until they get what they want out of you, and then that was our idea from the beginning.
Yeah, that's just.
But yeah, there's a lot to be said that the pioneer gets the arrow. Is that not true?
Well, yeah, and it's just I came across the word serendipity the other day, and it seems like that's my whole life. It's just everything's by accident. Anytime I try to make a plan, that doesn't work. It's just taking advantage of just like meetings like this. I mean, I'm eventually going to play golf with this guy right here, and I just met him today.
How you like that?
I love it.
That's what I like. I like going and playing golf by myself because I meet more people like that, and I love meeting people. So there's a part of me that needs input, just like some.
We all want to be stimulated, don't we?
Well, most of us do.
Right. Yeah.
And the ones who don't, well, they're no fun to be around.
And they're working their whatever job they do, Monday through Friday, no overtime. They're happy with their check. They're happy with their life. But at the end of it all, you know what? I'm the same way. I've had a host of different jobs with the police and fire career. You always work side jobs. So there's nothing like you can't do in a sense. The old, master of none, jack of all trades. And that's good. You have a little taste of everything. But you, sir, you have done things to where you have gained patents for like this baseball batting emulator.
Yeah.
And it's called an emulator? Is that the proper word?
So I kind of, when I was acting, I got the idea for, when I started getting acting gigs, I was already marketing a weightlifting strap. I call it a squat strap.
Okay.
And it was just a $29 strap. Instead of putting a barbell on my shoulders, I could lay it on the ground between my legs and wrap a strap around the end of the bars and pull it up on my shoulders. When I stood up, the barbell is in my crotch. And I didn't need a rack. I didn't need any spotters. So I sold that mail order through Muscle and Fitness magazine. And I decided, okay, I'm going to up my game. I'm going to create this weightlifting bench that will collapse down into 6 inches and go into your bed. So when I want to do something, I won't let anything stop me. I didn't have a place to do this. So I went to my apartment manager and I said, hey, can I use the rec room? I have some work I need to do. He says, yeah, just clean up afterwards. So I went in the rec room and I made a prototype of this weightlifting bench. And I bought welders and grinders and saws and all. And as long as I cleaned up everything, cleaned the ping pong table off at the end of the day, I was fine. So I made my prototype in the rec room in my apartment complex.
Amazing.
And this bench would collapse into 6 inches and go under your bed.
Now, was this the athletic movement?
No, this was a hide bench. So this kind of got me into the hardware of weightlifting. And after I did that, I realized I'm not selling as many of these as I need to. So I started going around to the stores that sell exercise equipment, treadmills and stuff. And they would say, Ken, if this is great, you got this one tool here, but guys who collect weightlifting equipment, they want all of it. And he had a whole line of stuff on the floor. I said, well, I can make all this stuff. He said, well, yeah, we'll do it. I said, well, I'll make it better than this. So I started making a line of home weightlifting equipment, basically weightlifting benches. And I had to go to a trade show in Chicago. Now, I was living in LA at the time. Had to come to McCormick Place for a trade show for gym equipment manufacturers. They were not painting. Everything was black and gray at that time. This is mid-'80s. And my painter says, I'm not painting that. I'm painting stuff white. I says, oh, my God, no. Well, he had to paint it white. I brought it to the trade show. And in 6 months, everybody that was there is painting equipment white.
I was giving you credit that you were the innovator of the white machine?
Well, yeah, it was an accident.
Like
It was just an accident.
Okay.
It was.
That's all right.
I wasn't
no matter how
smart
you got there.
You know what? I'm not
crossed
smart.
the finish line.
One part of me is just as dumb as a rock, and there's
Yeah.
another part that knows what he's doing.
I got you.
And I have. It's kind of like a
Kind of fight with yourself.
Well, absolutely. It's a constant battle. I mean, the smart guy is keeping me alive, and the dumb guy is wanting to do dumb stuff all the time. I'm not a dumb guy, but I still do a lot of dumb stuff.
But you got a lot of good personality.
I have.
And that's what helps you get along, I think.
That helps keep me out of jail.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
So I made a whole line of weightlifting equipment, and I had been thinking about, I started to play golf in my late 30s more than once a month. Up until that time, I was just once every once. And I'm an ex-baseball player. I played 1 year minor league ball with the Cubs. And you've seen that swing. It doesn't translate. When a baseball player starts playing golf, it looks like he's trying to hit a baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my struggle. The golf instructors couldn't help me with that. They knew they could explain to me, well, this is what you should be doing. So I understood that. But that's the what. If you don't know how to teach somebody, your what is absolutely worthless. So the smart part of our brain said, okay, forget that. Let's make a machine that won't let you use your baseball swing and forces you to swing like a pro golfer. So that was my first piece of movement-specific training equipment. And that was called a golf swing emulator. And the very first person to use that besides me when I got this was Ernie Banks. Ernie was living in Los Angeles. I called him and said, Ernie, come in and check this thing out. And I'm still using it like a baseball player. Ernie gets on it, and he's using it like a golfer. The next day...
And he trusted you from knowing when you were your brother.
Well, I've known Ernie since I was 17, yeah.
Grew up together.
Yeah. And so the next day he goes out and wins a golf tournament. All of a sudden, I became Ernie's best friend. And that machine was gigantic. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it, and I got lucky. And in a couple of years, I got a big contract in Japan, sold a bunch of machines over there. And it was something I made for myself. So that machine took me from an 18 handicap down to a 3.3.
Yeah, I saw those numbers on my research.
And I had an average drive of 304 yards.
Oh
average. I hit some golf balls almost 400 yards, but I was using 120 pounds on the golf machine. So that's not unusual. There are other guys that have hit the ball 400 yards that have been clients of mine, but that's not normal. Most guys won't do it for 120 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I even helped one PGA golfer win a golf tournament. So I had my first training facility in Phoenix in '96. This guy comes in off the street, and he says, I heard about you at a party. I want to check this machine out. I says, okay, so tell me about your game. He said, well, I haven't been playing a lot. I said, well, let's look at your swing and see what's going on. So we videoed. Now, this is VHS technology. This is how long ago this was. This is 1996. We videotaped his swing. He says, oh, my God, I have no hip rotation. I said, oh, that's a problem. Something's off here. Surgery, injury? He says, both. Broke my wrist in a motorcycle accident. Haven't been playing a lot. I'm kind of in rehabbing. And I put him on my golf machine, and he can't use it. I said, Steve, here's what people don't realize. When you have surgery, if you're an athlete, this will scramble your motor skills for your sport. Even though it has nothing to do with your sport, it'll still mess up your motor skills. You have to go back and learn the golf swing again. And here's the way to do it. It took him about 60 seconds. He finally said, oh, there it is. There, he could feel it. And that's the main.
But this thing that you invented, this emulator, is it like, do they strap in type of a thing?
No,
or does it just not allow you?
It's like a weightlifting machine that's got a handle.
Okay.
You grab a golf handle here, and when you swing it down here, you're lifting a weight stack.
Okay.
So this exercises the exact muscles you're supposed to be using in the swing, and it's also a sequence trainer. So I've got 4 times more resistance here than I do down here. And what that does for a golfer, it eliminates casting. You can't come over the top. If you don't make the same move as a pro golfer, it doesn't go anywhere. So you can't use it incorrectly without knowing about it. So
that sound about right, Dave?
He's right on tee with that one right there.
Right on tee tees?
So it forces you to use your core muscles first.
Okay.
But this is something that golf instructors can't talk into you. You have to be able to feel it. And that's something they can't give you. They can explain mechanics to you, but they can't make you feel stuff. This gives you a feeling once you use it 45 seconds. It wires you up to muscles you didn't even know you had. How old were you when you started to play golf?
I was about 23, 24.
All right. So if you do this as a child, and learn this as a child, if you had started this when you were 5 or 6 years old, all pro golfers usually start when they're 4 or 5 years old. And they've got ADHD, so they spend a lot of time with it. And that's what makes them good and better than other people. If you don't have that going for you, you're not going to be a professional athlete. That's what separates the amateurs from the pros. The pros have ADD in their DNA, and that's what drives them. So when you're using this machine, it's going to make you do what a pro golfer is doing, and it strengthens you at the same time. It doesn't make your muscles bigger. So this is not a weightlifting machine. It has weights on it, but it's not weightlifting. And the difference is when you go in a gym and you do use all this equipment, you're usually working on one muscle group, and you're trying to make that muscle group as large as possible. That's kind of dangerous because there's a threshold there. If you work too hard, you can tear a muscle up. My machine doesn't isolate one muscle. It isolates 80 muscles. So this makes you use every muscle that you would use.
And form.
And the form.
Which is more important because if you're doing something the right form, I would imagine you're going to feel where you're supposed to feel it if you know your form was bad to start with. Because you're feeling things in a different location.
I invented this machine and I made a bunch of people wealthy and famous before I actually knew how it worked. So I decided, okay, I got to do some research. Something's going on here that it escapes me. I know this works. It's not strenuous. You don't even break a sweat using this equipment, but it's very effective. So I started studying neurology at Arizona State University. I would I would talk my way into the science lab, into the library, and I just studied how the brain worked. Albert, the smarter part of our brain, says, okay, I know how this is working now. So here's the deal. All your motor skills have to be learned when you're a child. When you're a child, your brain is helping you to learn whatever it is. If you're throwing a baseball, everybody throws the ball like a girl to start off with. Girls, guys, everybody. Your brain, if you do this repetitively, your brain will see this and say, you're wasting too much energy doing this because you're using the thinking part of your brain. I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it into something that looks like a pro athlete without telling you, and I'm going to wire you up to all these movement-specific muscles that you're going to need to do this sports movement. So you learn your motor skill, and that learning is done from the inside out. It doesn't come from a golf instructor. They can help you, but you're learning as a child. It's coming from inside your brain. So your brain has a muscle synthesizer that tells you we're going to make these specific muscles work. And about 40% of the muscles you use to swing a golf club are only about this big. You go into a gym, the gym doesn't deal with those muscles whatsoever. So when you get on my machine for the first time, I'm going to wire you up to muscles that have never been used before. The small muscles that he has that he would have developed as a child, they're in there. They just don't have any connection to them.
I think he said you got small muscles. I don't know if you caught that. Just want to be the one.
I'll take it. He's the expert. He's a neurologist.
The small muscles. Yeah.
So
we kind of knew that.
So once you get
Samantha will agree.
Once you get these small muscles going, it changes what you have to be able to do. Now you can actually feel what a professional golfer is doing. So this machine will wire you up in 45 seconds. You do one set with lightweight on the machine, pick the club up, and you can't feel the head on the driver. It's the weirdest sensation you'll ever feel in your life. And you immediately pick up some power right then and there. Now, the average guy will pick up about 20 to 25 yards right then and there. Now, unless you keep using the machine, you're not going to keep that. Every once in a while, some guy will come along, he'll use the machine once, and he's hitting the ball 350 yards with one workout. That's the exception. It's not the rule, but it kind of gives you, the top of the range. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a range. Everybody's going to get something different, but everybody's going to get something, period. So that's kind of how this all started. And then eventually I got Randy to show me, before I was doing well with the golf machine, I actually got the Cubs to buy a batting machine. So Randy had told me about the Cubs manager, Jim Lefevre. This is in '93. Jim had gym equipment all over his backyard. The manager for the Chicago Cubs came and bought my batting emulator and took it to Chicago. I didn't hear from him until the end of the season. He comes back in my office in Phoenix and says, I want to help you sell this machine. I'm thinking, okay, great. So how'd you do with it? I got 2 guys to use it. Rick Wilkins, the catcher, went from 7 to 30 home runs. That broke a whole bunch of records.
For a catcher.
Yeah, for a catcher. And he also hit 300 that year. And this new kid named Sosa goes from 8 to 33 home runs. And I'm thinking, I'm in. No, that's not how it worked. Sammy was able, because of what Sammy did, he was able to renegotiate his contract. He was making $800,000 the first year he used my machine. And after hitting 33 home runs.
So the Cubs didn't want your stinking machine.
They didn't like it. And not only did and Sammy went from $800,000 to $6 million. Well, that interferes with the business plans.
Sure
they don't like that stuff. So what did they do? They gave the machine away and they fired the manager. They're not doing what we think. You and I would think, well, why don't you have everybody on that? Right. Because everybody would want to raise. That's why. That's how the management sees it. Listen, Ernie told me one day, he says, listen, World Series cost you money. You don't make money from it. You lose money. Because as soon as that's over, everybody on the team wants a raise.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if you're at a small market like Miami or Milwaukee, you don't have that money.
So what's the goal? I mean, privately try and find some player that's not hitting well and say, no, hey, I got a watch for you. I mean, that's what it looks like.
No, the management doesn't want this machine. Now, I've had this in Wrigley Field. Todd, 3 years later, Todd has it in Shea Stadium. Todd used this machine for 1 year and broke the record for most home runs ever hit by a catcher in 1 year. And they accused him of using steroids. They didn't know he was on this machine. So that's how good, the better athlete you are, the better this equipment works. So that PJ golfer, let's go back a little bit. That PJ golfer was talking about, he says, listen, I want to play in the U.S. Open in 3 months. I don't have the qualifications to get in there. I'm going to have to play a qualifying round. And I said, can you hit the ball 350 yards? He's a big guy. He says, yeah. I said, well, in 3 months, I'm going to make you strong enough to hit the ball 400 yards. But because there's no place you can use that, here's how we can use that extra strength. You're going to be able to slow your swing speed down by 10 to 12 miles an hour and still hit it 350. How's that going to help you? He says, accuracy. I said, yeah. So that's what we're going for. We're not going for you hitting the ball 400 yards, hit it 350 and hit it accurately. So he comes in twice a week. The workout is 5 minutes. It's not like being there for hours. 5 minutes a day. Comes in twice a week for 3 months. Had to play a qualifying round to get in the U.S. Open, and then he won the U.S. Open.
Wow.
This is 1996. His name was Steve Jones. And on my website, athgym, athgym.com, you'll see an interview with him talking about, actually, that's on the longballtrainer.com website. So the long ball trainer is the golf machine. And there's an interview on there, him talking about using this machine, how it helped his game out. Now, on athgym.com, that's got all my machines. It's got the baseball, the golf, tennis, anything you can throw, swing, or kick. I've got a machine for you. And this facility is in Mountain Prospect. I am dying in this facility. I'm not making any money there. I came to Chicago thinking I'm going to help a lot of high school baseball kids. Something happened on the way up here. So I didn't know it, but here in Chicago, they only play 7 innings of baseball.
You know what that means?
Yeah, it's time for the break.
That's the bottom of the hour. So you know what? This is an exciting conversation. Yeah, can you believe it? Dean DeLaley talking about sports. I got Kenn Hundley in the station along with David Tease. And we're talking baseball and we're talking golf all at the same time. They're running in together because this gentleman here has not only got patents on these, but he's made them from the ground up. So you're going to want to hear some more. We're going to come back after a few short messages, and we will return. We're going to be back with Kenn Hundley and David Tease. You listen to WRMN 1410.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Hot Hands. The Aurora Police Department will conduct canine training Monday in vacant homes on the city's east side. Canine teams are training until 4 p.m. in the 1600 block of Grove Street, according to an alert. Signs are posted in the area to alert residents. Police are asking locals and passerbys to give officers and canines space while they work through exercises. The U.S. trade deficit fell nearly 24% in August, dropping to $59.6 billion as imports slowed amid President Trump's global tariffs. The Commerce Department reports imports fell fell 5% to $340.4 billion following a surge in July as the company stocked up ahead of the tariffs, which took effect August 7th. Economists say the decline reflects both reduced foreign purchases and early impacts of the trade measures. Ford is recalling over 200,000 2025-26 Bronco and Bronco Sport vehicles due to a possible instrument panel failure that could leave drivers without key safety information. Owners will be notified starting December 8th to have the software updated at dealerships. 23-year-old Jenny Evaristo of Aurora has died following a two-vehicle crash Sunday afternoon in Hoffman Estates. The crash near Gulf and Bartlett Roads caused one vehicle to strike a tree and catch fire. Bystanders rescued the male occupant, but Evaristo was trapped and later extricated by firefighters. She was airlifted to Loyola University Medical Center, where she later died. Occupants of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Kane County law enforcement is stepping up traffic enforcement for the holidays. From November 21st through December 2nd, deputies, Illinois State Police, and local agencies will target speeding, distracted driving, impaired driving, and seatbelt violations. Officials remind drivers to buckle up, plan for sober rides, and call 911 if they spot an impaired driver. The campaign is funded by federal traffic safety grants. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress, and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin, one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now, 847-741-5660, or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. This afternoon, cloudy with a high near 48, temperatures falling to around 44. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 30. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 50, temperatures falling to around 47 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 46 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Deano's Night Out on WRMN. It's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
tell you what,
on WRMN.
anybody that knows me knows that for me to cut this song a little bit short, we got someone very interesting in the studio today. And today we have a gentleman. His name is Kenn Hundley. And he's got some just exciting things he's talking about. He's a patent and innovator. Is that the word? I guess he is an innovator. But he's a guy that makes all these different inventions to help people with their baseball swing, help people with their, what's the other thing?
Golf swing?
Golf swing, that's it. I couldn't get the word out. Which is why I've got my good friend David Tees in here as well. How are you, David?
Good. How's you doing?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Just coming back. Had a couple of replays the last week or two. Haven't been up to snuff here, but what a show to come back to. We got Mr. Excitement over here. Ron. I mean, what's with the Ron? Kenn. So, Kenn, I'm going to show a few pictures for everybody that's watching on the YouTube. And let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to you first. No, that's Randy.
All right, so that's Randy up left-hand corner.
Here.
That's Todd right there in the middle. That's
Okay.
Todd on his machine in Port St. Lucie where the Mets train.
And that's the baseball one,
That's
right?
that's a batting one. And he said, why don't we take this over and show it to the batting coach? So we take it over to the spring training complex, show it to the batting coach. Says, oh yeah, we got to have this. They got it. They used it. They did well with it. And then they got
Yeah. Story of your life over
story
here.
of our life.
All right. Then you did this golf swing thing you were talking about that you did real well in Japan.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
That's
on the,
the one
far
on the right over
yeah.
there.
So can you click on that photograph unto itself?
You know, I wish I could. I can't.
Yeah, well, sure.
Let me see.
So, yeah, a couple of, and this was an accident also. All right. So, I mean, everything in my life is an accident. So here's the story on this. I had this machine maybe for a couple of years. I made a couple different prototypes of it. And I'm getting a patent done in Japan. So I'm going to get a Japanese patent. My patent attorney's in Los Angeles. He's from Japan. I met his secretary, and I start dating her. And one day she was at my house, and she sees a flyer from my golf machine, and she says, can I show this to my boss? I said, sure. So he comes over, he sees the machine, and he says, can I bring some people over to see this? I said, sure. So I'm thinking he's bringing some people over from Beverly Hills. He brought the CEOs from 3 Japanese companies over from Japan. 2 of them wisely said, no, this is not what we do. The third one said, no, I want to do this. The third guy had a factory with 600 employees in Japan. He's making about $250 million a year. He wanted to make my machine in Japan. I said, no, that's not going to happen. And here's a problem. You got lots of money, and you have more potential to hurt me than you do to help me.
Yeah.
So until you know what you're doing, I'm going to say no to you. So 6 months go by, and the guy who introduced us to us says, Ken, you're afraid they don't know what they're doing in marketing. I said, I know they don't know what they're doing in marketing. So long story short, I ended up selling boxcars of machines in Japan, batting, throwing, and golf machines. And they are just so far ahead of us technological-wise. It's ridiculous. The Japanese look at us technology-wise like we look at the Russians. That's how far backwards they think we are. And everything over there is automated and all that stuff. So that's how the Japanese think. Let's go to the picture on the far left here. That's Eric Suttle. I was in Atlanta in 2009. Eric was in a batting cage. I went there to get some high school kids to come over to my new facility. All the high school kids had their own trainers. So they wouldn't even talk to me. Eric is in the batting cage, and he comes out, and I say, hey, are you playing any baseball? He says, yeah. Ironically, he's playing semi-pro ball in Chicago in the summertime. He's a high school substitute teacher, but he's playing semi-pro ball up here. I says, do you want to play pro ball? He said, oh, yeah, of course. I said, don't say of course. So you don't have the head to play pro ball. But here's what I'm going to do. I showed him the machine, the batting machine. I said, I'm going to let you come and train on this machine and the throwing machine for free. And in 4 months, I'm going to make you as strong as any major league ball player throwing or hitting. And he looked at me sideways like, you're full of it. I said, yeah, I get that a lot. Fast forward 4 months, he comes in one day and he says, he got a strange look on his face. I said, what's wrong? He said, we just came from a football field to throw the baseball. I said, oh, you're trying to see how far you're throwing it. He says, yeah. I said, so how far are you throwing it? He says, end zone to end zone, one step. I said, okay. Now, I told you I was going to get you here. Do you understand what I'm talking about when it comes to the head stuff? He said, no. 2 weeks later, he comes back in. He's got that same look on his face. I said, what happened? He says, I just hit a baseball 454 feet with a wooden bat. I says, I told you I was going to get you here. Now, here's the deal. You're 24. From Major League Baseball's perspective, you're too old. You know where these tryouts are. Show up. Don't tell anybody how old you are. Let's see what happens. He went to 4 tryouts, and the Houston Astros signed him on the spot.
Isn't that amazing? Off of your machine.
Off the machine.
Say that's I don't understand why people wouldn't grasp this.
Oh, actually, my co-host John Payne says no machine will ever help David T's game. He's based on pure luck.
I'm taking that challenge on, by golly.
There you are. All right, let's go to our next photo. What do we got going over here?
All right, where are we?
We got a bunch of people.
Oh, that's me and Randy and Todd. Todd had a celebrity golf tournament in L.A. while he was playing for the Dodgers, and that's at his tournament. The picture below that is me and Todd in Mexico. I took him down to Mexico because I don't think he'd ever been there before. And we're just partying in Mexico and having a good time. And on the right-hand side there, that's a picture of me. I got to admit, some of these photographs are from my book, Chasing Fins, which is my autobiography. So that picture on the far left-hand side, me standing by those rocks, that's in Machu Picchu in Peru. Machu Picchu is this phenomenal place on the top of the Andes Mountains in Peru. And that's what that picture is about here. And the picture in the top right-hand corner is also in Cusco, Peru. That's me buying some stuff at a street market there. So, yeah.
Neat.
So that was probably around 2000. And that is, if you have a bucket list, Machu Picchu should be on it. It is the most phenomenal thing you'll ever see visually in your life.
And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get Randy to come on into the studio. If we can't get him to come into the studio, we'll go to him. We'll do a live broadcast from his house.
Yep.
But I'm telling you, just to have Randy Hundley a part of our broadcast would be totally amazing.
That picture in the middle there of him jumping up in the air, that's from 1969. That's when the Mets took it away from the Cubs. That's the play. That is the play that turned everything around. Up until that point, up until the beginning of this game, the Cubs were in first place. It's the last month of the season, and the Mets win 30 games in a row.
Holy God.
The Cubs are worn out. Leo would just play them, and he rode them hard and put them up wet.
Yeah.
And the ball players wanted to be out there so much they were playing injured. So the year before, Randy broke the record for most games caught in the season. He caught 160 out of 162 games. And I asked him one day, I said, well, what happened to those other 2 games? He said, I was in a hospital. I get out of the hospital. I go by the stadium to get something out of my locker. Leo DeRocher sees me. He said, hey, Randy, how you doing? I said, okay, Skip. So how do you feel? I feel pretty good. Great, you're playing today. And the ball players would have played with broken leg. They don't care. They just wanted to be there.
Yeah, they want to be a part of the game.
And you know what? That's what makes you great. When you want to go at it, and not let anything stop you. From these guys' perspectives, pain is not something that stops you. It's just an adversary that you have to get over. Yeah. You got to get beyond it. And that's the way Randy was, and it's the way Todd was. Todd caught 2 months with a broken bone in his catching hand.
And what was it? Your father was the one?
Yeah, my dad was
the one that taught him on doing the catching?
Yeah. And back
that in itself is amazing.
Well, it was. And you know what? That was an accident. So this is about World War II. So the Army goes to my dad and says, Cecil, you got to go in the Army or you got to make airplanes. He says, I'll make airplanes. Where are we going to do that? You're going to do that in Baltimore. So Randy's 4 months old. They moved to Baltimore. Dad's making airplanes. I think all of the munitions companies for the war had baseball teams because they wanted people to have some morale. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something to do.
Somebody saw my dad playing and said, hey, and they offered him a major league contract. He says, can I take my family on the road with me? And Dad said, and they said, no, you can't. He said, I'm not doing it. So, but he was that good. And those mitts in those days looked like a big donut. The pocket was this big, and you had to put your hand over it to hold the ball.
To keep it in. It was just like flat.
Your hand always had to be behind the mitt when you're catching. As soon as they made a glove that folded, and this was when Randy was about 7 years old, my dad told Randy, "So, okay, I'm going to let you catch," because Randy was playing some other position. I'm going to let you catch. And he put his finger up his foot. He said, but don't you ever put your hand behind the mitt. You're going to put that mitt, because my dad had broken all the bones in his throwing hand because his hand was, if he wanted her to catch a ball and the hand was here, foul ball will come off. And so he says, you're not going to do that. You're going to hide this hand either here or behind you, but the foul ball is not going to hit it. So that was the invention of, that was in the 50s, And that was the first invention of one-handed catching. And when Randy finally signed his contract in 60, nobody was doing that. And they tried to change that to him. Now, Randy in high school, he was a phenomenon. He could have played football, basketball. He ran track. He ran a 100-yard dash in a football uniform in 10.4. Wow. And he had no muscles on it. 155 pounds, you couldn't find any muscles. He was a freak. Could hit the ball 425 feet on a line. So when he signed his contract, they wanted to change his. He batted .523 and hit for power. If you're smart, man, you don't mess with it. But in those days, a batting instructor would come to you and he wants to change you so he can put his stamp on you. Say, see, I made him what he is. And they screwed his hitting up. And then they said, okay, nobody catches one-handed. Randy said, listen, you gave me all this money. They gave him $110,000. You gave me all this money. I'm not changing my way of catching. If you don't like me, give me my money back. I'll go somewhere else. And they finally left him alone. If they'd let the hitting alone, no telling what he could have been. He was just a phenomenal power hitter. He was just phenomenal. But they said, listen, the batting instructors are still stupid today.
So your machines that you've made, did you form them like after your brother's movements? And
No, you know what?
Movements?
I would watch Major League ball players. This happened. The first machine, the golf machine, was in 1989. For the golf, I'm looking at pro golfers. I'm videotaping what they're doing. This is old school technology. Mm-hmm. I'm playing their swings back one frame at a time. Every frame, I put dots on their body joints to see the trail of movement so I could figure out what they were doing. And I knew the sequence was important. So that's how I designed the machines to emulate what the pro golfers were doing. When it comes to baseball, I just used guys who were hitting home runs that year, whoever it was at that time. It wasn't Sosa because he wasn't even on the radar.
No, you improved his game.
Absolutely. So, and Sammy bought a machine somewhere. Somebody told me, hey, my best friend was just in Sammy's house and he saw your batting machine in his house in Miami. Now, this is after he's retired.
Well, maybe from Japan they sold him.
he may have gotten this machine that the Cubs gave away. It's possible.
Oh, that would be something.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, that makes sense. That's why he's still the only guy who's hit 60 home runs in 3 different seasons in the history of baseball. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Your credibility has spoken for itself, and everything I've read on the website, that wasn't just you writing it. It was other people writing stories about you. So I'm not going to make it a challenge, but maybe a challenge. Because his partner is saying that he can't golf, that he's only he's only a luck golfer.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I know Dave has love of the game. I know Dave has some technique because he does golf pretty well from the people I've spoken to. You going to be able to increase David's game?
Yeah. He's got. This is what he's got. He's got the attitude. Without that, nothing happens. It really doesn't. And you gotta be open to stuff you haven't done before. If you're closed-minded, if you got a stubborn head, you got a stubborn body, and this doesn't work with a stubborn body. You got to let go of what you think you should be doing and let this machine teach you what to do. So yeah, the average golfer will pick up, if they're using it 3 days a week, 5 minutes a day, you'll pick up 40 yards in 2 months, and that's not coming out of your shoestring. That's you not using any additional effort. So this machine is a phenomenal training tool.
Yeah, let me just are these expensive machines?
Well, it is now because
inflation.
Here's the problem. If I'm making it's like making cars 1 or 2 at a time.
Sure.
There's no profit in it. So lately, I've been selling the golf machines for $10,000, and the guys with money are buying them up just as fast as I can make them. If you give me $15,000, I will guarantee you 40 yards on your drive in 2 months. Whether doesn't make any difference. If you don't get it, you get your money back. If you're confident with what you're feeling on your machine the first time you use it, you can buy it for $10,000, and I'm still going to train you how to use it. But I'm not going to be there for weeks at a time. So yeah, it'll make a huge difference. Even with the average golfer is 15 handicap. I can cut that in half in about 3 months and give you a better swing. And here's the deal. It's not just one swing that we're building. This machine is going to work with your body and work with you and give you the best swing that your body can produce, not something that somebody else is doing. So we're all different. If there were only one body, there would only be one golf swing. But because everybody's got different things going on, people got different injuries, people have different vocational muscles, all that stuff changes what you have the ability to do with the golf club. But this machine is still going to make all of that work and make you strong.
Oh, this isn't going to help John's game because he's torn his rotator cuff, knee surgeries numerous times. Yeah, so he's out.
Well, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. I when I was 30, I hung drywall. I hung a ton of it a day, and I destroyed my lower back. After 6 months, my third and fourth lumbar are fusing together. They said, Ken, you're permanently disabled. You're never going to play golf again. You're never going to work again. 10 years later, I created this golf machine, and the machine, when you're pulling down on it, your vertebrae are going like this.
Oh, so
and when you start rotating your
you.
hips, you start making all these core muscles dense. You'll gain a ½ inch of height if you use this every day for 6 months. And you'll make your back stronger. So the machine rehabbed my back to the point where I could do it. I could work again. And it made my back so strong, I broke a test machine. Oh, my God. Some people were in my gym testing people for back injuries. They didn't know who I was. So they put me on this machine. I sit in a chair. They got a machine that's about the size of an old Coca-Cola machine. Remember those things?
Sure.
I got a cable coming out of it. They put a harness on you. They hook the cable up to you, and you basically just lean back and pull back as hard as you can. I broke their machine. So they're looking at the machine, looking at me. I said, guys, well, what is my numbers? They said, you broke the friggin' machine. I said, well, does that happen? No. Only one other guy did this, and he weighed 500 pounds. What are you doing? And I showed them my golf machine, and they said, get it. I said, if you got my machine, you're not going to need to be rehabbed. So my machine can fix you if you got lumbar problems. It'll remove that stuff and make you a stronger golfer.
Now, do you strap into this machine, or you just hold on to the?
No, you just grab the handle.
Okay.
You do this. Do you have the ability to put it up on yours? Can you get Ath Jim up there on that at all?
Are you talking about the one that Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we
go. If you can pull that up, we can see
the
that.
video there. Your brother actually, when he played with us 3 years ago, Randy played the whole 18 holes. How old was he then about 3 years ago?
He was 80.
80 years old, out there in a nice hot day, playing 18 holes of golf.
Yeah. And you know, when he was young, he was a scratch golfer. He got it right. He took golf lessons in high school. So here's the deal, guys. There we go.
I'm gonna put.
Look at that video right there.
Which one do you want? The Sammy Sosa one?
No, the one on the left. That one right there. That's going to show all the machines here. So
let's see if we can hear it.
So this is the batting machine. This is the machine that Sammy Sosa used and Todd used to do all their stuff. And that's Eric Suttle right there, the guy who I got signed when he was 24 years old. So this is the throwing machine right here. This will put another 5 miles an hour on your fastball without you having to use any additional effort to get there. And it's also going to give you a lot more endurance. This is a kicking machine. I let a Phoenix Cardinal football player use this for a week, and he kicked the longest field goal in franchise history. Here's the golf machine right here. So I just grab the handle. I got some weights on there. I start working it out, and it's I'll do 15 reps, and that's one complete set right there. So in a day, eventually you'll graduate to doing 4 of those, and that's all your workout is. It takes 45 seconds to do one set. You can do 4 sets. You work out on a machine for 3 minutes a day.
Now, you can change the weights on these machines here to, what's the highest you could put on there, though?
Well, you can put 150 pounds in there if you want to.
Oh, okay.
But you start real low. You don't need to go. Right. You don't need to go heavy in the beginning.
Just take a quick look at
what you're trying to do. Again, your small muscles that haven't been worked out. Those are the ones you got to be careful of. So you got to start with really low weight. In the beginning, you're working out those small muscles. For you, they're not even connected. So the machine is going to connect you up to these muscles, and that's why you're going to feel such lightness in the club, because those muscles will start taking on some of the load of your big muscles. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So, and the machine is adjustable. Doesn't make any difference if you're 7 feet tall or 5 feet tall. I can adjust it for everybody. The machine adjusts to you, and you don't have to adjust to the machine. So you gradually add about 5 pounds of weight every 5 workouts or so, and you just go up there gradually. It's not necessary to jump at it, but you will feel an immediate response the first day you use it.
So my question is, let's say first time I get on this, I use it about 1 or 2 times. Now, when you start working out, after like a couple of days, your body hurts for a while.
No.
That won't happen with this?
No, and here's why. Because you're distributing this little bit of resistance over 80 different muscles.
Okay.
So no one muscle is going to get overloaded. Unless you put too much weight on there in the beginning, you won't feel any muscle soreness at all. no lactic acid buildup. No, it's not like lifting weights. So there's no damage to you. You're going to be able to play. If you're accustomed to playing on hole, this is going to give you the endurance to play 27 holes in a day if you want.
Okay. Which I'd like to do.
Sure would. I got Dennis coming here. He's going to try and get the make that video work.
Will you help my putting game?
No. So here's the deal.
Okay.
The reason there's so many short game programs, short game has nothing to do with motor memory. It's all about feel. You can go online and get good instruction for putting, chipping, and pitching. You don't need a golf instructor for that. And I know people, you've played with scratch golfers before. They don't have good form, but they're making it work.
Yeah.
They made their game work. So that's the easiest place to knock some strokes off your game is in the short game. But you got to spend some time with it. If you want to get better, you need to spend an hour a week on your short game.
Yeah, that's the definite. Chip in and putting are your short games.
This one,
right there.
and when I'm training people, the only club I let them use is the driver. If you can hit your driver, you can hit any club whatsoever.
Right. We're going to try this one more time.
All right.
Here we go.
Now, let's take a quick look at the different sports movements that you can train for here in the Athletes Gym.
Yeah, that's the batting one.
Yeah, so you can move that forward. I believe you can use the slider and move that forward a little bit. There we go. Move it forward a little bit, kid. There we go. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. All right, now play from right there. The golf will show up right after this.
So that's for kickers and field goal kickers. Soccer. There you go. There's the golf.
So I'm using about 60 pounds here. And, at my peak, I was using twice that much weight. And when you do twice that much weight, it almost becomes like a weightlifting workout. But your muscles are in shape to take that on. You gradually get up there. If you do this right before you play, you'll. So what happens usually is guys will be. What's a 100-yard club? Is it the same way?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right.
56 sandwich.
All right. So what'll happen is you'll start hitting the ball 10 or 15 yards farther than you normally do immediately. So it works on all your clubs. So if you do this for 2 months, you can pick up 40 yards on your driver, 30 on your 3-wood, 20 on your
I'm going to let
rescue club.
Ken and David talk a little bit here in the background. We're at the top of the hour already, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Can you believe you're going to come back again and talk
absolutely.
about this some more?
Yeah, absolutely.
At least I introduce you two. We'll talk about this golf a little bit.
We're going to get him
more.
on the machine next time,
I think Dave's the best candidate for this. Folks, you've been listening to WRMN 1410 right here, WRMN. And we've had in the studio Kenn Hundley and David Teese. Kenn is an innovator of all these different machines that's going to either help your baseball swing or help your golf swing. They are not one in the same. So this is definitely something you're going to want to stay tuned to us. We're going to have more segments, and we will talk to you in just a little bit. WRMN 1410.
Not where they learned to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 3 o'clock.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Hot Hands. The Aurora Police Department will conduct canine training Monday in vacant homes on the city's east side. Canine teams are training until 4 p.m. in the 1600 block of Grove Street, according to an alert. Signs are posted in the area to alert residents. Police are asking locals and passerbys to give officers and canines space while they work through exercises. The U.S. trade deficit fell nearly 24% in August, dropping to $59.6 billion as imports slowed amid President Trump's global tariffs. The Commerce Department reports imports fell fell 5% to $340.4 billion following a surge in July as the company stocked up ahead of the tariffs, which took effect August 7th. Economists say the decline reflects both reduced foreign purchases and early impacts of the trade measures. Ford is recalling over 200,000 2025-26 Bronco and Bronco Sport vehicles due to a possible instrument panel failure that could leave drivers without key safety information. Owners will be notified starting December 8th to have the software updated at dealerships. 23-year-old Jenny Evaristo of Aurora has died following a two-vehicle crash Sunday afternoon in Hoffman Estates. The crash near Gulf and Bartlett Roads caused one vehicle to strike a tree and catch fire. Bystanders rescued the male occupant, but Evaristo was trapped and later extricated by firefighters. She was airlifted to Loyola University Medical Center, where she later died. Occupants of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Kane County law enforcement is stepping up traffic enforcement for the holidays. From November 21st through December 2nd, deputies, Illinois State Police, and local agencies will target speeding, distracted driving, impaired driving, and seatbelt violations. Officials remind drivers to buckle up, plan for sober rides, and call 911 if they spot an impaired driver. The campaign is funded by federal traffic safety grants. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive so you can stop worrying about them and invent new things to worry about, like snakes in your bedroom. Sure, that sounds incredibly irrational, but now that we've mentioned it, you are a little worried. The odds of one snake, let alone snakes plural, are so slim. But you might want to check. Oh, you're not near your bedroom. Guess you'll just have to sit there and worry about it. So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain X. 23-year-old Jenny Evaristo of Aurora has died following a two-vehicle crash Sunday afternoon in Hoffman Estates. The crash near Gulf and Bartlett Roads caused one vehicle to strike a tree and catch fire. Bystanders rescued the male occupant, but Evaristo was trapped and later extricated by firefighters. She was airlifted to Loyola University Medical Center, where she later died. Occupants of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Kane County law enforcement is stepping up traffic enforcement for the holidays. From November 21st through December 2nd, deputies, Illinois State Police, and local agencies will target speeding, distracted driving, impaired driving, and seatbelt violations. Officials remind drivers to buckle up, plan for sober rides, and call 911 if they spot an impaired driver. The campaign is funded by federal traffic safety grants. The Aurora Police Department will conduct canine training Monday in vacant homes on the city's east side. Canine teams are training until 4 p.m. in the 1600 block of Grove Street, according to an alert. Signs.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. This afternoon, cloudy with a high near 48. Temperatures falling to around 44. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 30. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 50. Temperatures falling to around 47 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 46 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Rain-X wipers are the #1 wiper blades in America. That means all kinds of drivers choose Rain-X. Big drivers in small cars choose Rain-X. Small drivers in big cars choose Rain-X. Drivers with long hair and short commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with short hair and long commutes choose Rain-X. Drivers with pets on board, babies on board, and bored babies on board choose Rain-X. Basically, drivers who love a clear view of the road all choose Rain-X wipers, the #1 wiper blades in America.
Before the weather gets too cold, it's time to finish up those outdoor jobs. That's why ComEd wants you to know that electricity can jump from a power line to you and to the tools you're using. So maintain a safe distance from any power lines. You can also call ComEd at 1-800-EDISON-1 to have those power lines de-energized the next time you do any work around them. Stay smart, stay safe, stay back. ComEd, powering lives.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Deano's Night Out on WRMN. It's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410. On WRMN, it's the talk of the town, so come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
Hey, everybody. Hello, how are you? Me, Deano here. Deano's Night Out. We are here for the second hour. Yep, hour number 2 of Deano's Night Out. And now we're going to have something, switching gears just a little bit, but we have someone who's not a stranger to our station. Both Andreas and Emily Tyler, Andreas Diaz and Emily Tyler, are both here from Fooder for Greater Elgin. So let's say hi to everybody. Let's get their mics popped up. Oh, you're on number 4 now. Okay. Let's see. I know how to do this stuff. And there we are. How you doing, everybody? Everyone going okay?
Hi. Yeah, good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Oh, we're glad that you're on the show today. Absolutely, Andres. You know, what you folks do over there is just, I mean, you're like little angels. I mean, really, for the amount of product that you give to those that are in need, it really says a lot, you know. And you do this on a short staff as well. People don't realize how short the staff is. So, I mean, I know we went right into it, but that's okay. Let's just get right into this because this is really a serious situation. I know right now, there's a problem with funds. There's a, yeah, we got people in the neighborhood. God bless them. But there's a lot of things that are going on. And I imagine a lot of this political environment may have been hampering the collections and getting the foods where it has to go. Is that a fact?
It is very much a fact, and I think everyone has seen, read, heard about, for example, the increase in ICE actions, not just in the city of Chicago, also right here in Elgin. As all your listeners know, Elgin is more than 50% Hispanic. And the guests or neighbors, as we call them, who come to our pantry, about 75% are Hispanic as well. So there's certainly a fear of ICE and their actions. They're well documented in Facebook, et cetera. And we definitely have seen, therefore, a decrease in the number of people physically coming to our pantry. And one of the ways that we have sought to get food out to people is to partner, for example, with U46 at the elementary level, at the high school level. We also are increasing the amount of food we give to agencies in the local areas. These are agencies from Well Child to churches. They use the food to make food because they have soup kettles. And then we also most recently, last Saturday, Emily, I, and quite a few volunteers from our pantry from San Filippo, based right here in Elgin, went to Elgin Community College. We partnered with Northern Illinois Food Bank. Between the two organizations, we gave away about 1,000 turkey holiday meal boxes.
Nice.
And unfortunately, we ran out, and that's a testament to the increased demand. And we will continue to partner with organizations and, as I said, to see how we can increase our distribution channels, because people are afraid to leave their homes. And so our prerogative, our mandate is to get food out to people.
Absolutely. But let's to be clear, the ICE situation is not what's causing the shortage. The economy, the slowdown in the government when they did the government shutdown, that affected a lot of the funding that you're getting to get some of these food. Is that correct?
At the public level, public meaning both federal as well as state, which comes from federal, there's no question that we've seen an impact. And that impact began many months ago, back in the March, April timeframe, when there are federal dollars at the discretion of the White House. And those dollars go to pay farmers, local farmers here, to grow food.
Right.
And the food they grow, they in turn give to Northern Illinois Food Bank. They give to us for free. So that stream of funding was curtailed to zero. And also funding controlled by the White House that would otherwise go to food banks, whether it's Northern Illinois or Greater Chicago, in Chicago. Those funds allow them to buy food, which in turn makes food free to us. We bring now in about 3.5 million pounds of food on an annual basis, and therefore the majority of the food that we get is free, either from great retail partners that we all know, Target, Jewel, et cetera, and then also from the food bank. So ultimately, those cuts have a way of directly or indirectly impacting how much food we have available.
Yeah, I just could imagine it's got to be a huge cut. And then the second hurdle and challenges you're talking about, now the folks that typically come to take advantage of this, they're scared to come and get the food, and I imagine there's date codes on a lot of this stuff too. It's got to get to the people. Even though you're showing a shortage, you want to make sure you have enough food for those that are reluctant to come. So by doing what you've done, the partners with the the school district, has that helped you to get the distribution a little better?
Absolutely. And I would say we're at the beginning of it. In fact, earlier today, we had a meeting with the COO of U46 and the man who is responsible for food operations for U46, because we and they want to make sure that food, for example, if it is perishable, if it is frozen in the case of meats, that there are the proper facilities to hold, to store the food, so that we minimize spoilage as well.
Well, and I'm looking through different things. Collecting the food is always a challenge. Getting people to make the donations, that's always. What are you doing differently, if anything differently, to get more people to want to help? I know that Elgin has that piece where ICE agents aren't able to come on Elgin property. I don't know, does your facility have a similar thing that they're not allowed to come to your facility?
Correct. We've been fortunate in partnering, for example, with Centro de Información, because they have legal experts on staff, and they've given us guidance. We've given guidance to our neighbors who physically come. We've also given guidance to our volunteers and obviously to our staff. As some of your listeners know, private property is an area that is not allowed for ICE agents. A federal warrant has to be produced. It has to be legitimate. It has to be accurate. So all those bridges have to be crossed before anything further is done. So again, we're thankful that we have partners who are able to guide us in terms of what to say, sometimes what not to say, what to do, and what not to do.
Sure.
But so far, we have not physically seen any ICE presence on our private property.
And the reason I bring that up is so that the folks that are coming to receive this benefit, they should feel comfortable that nobody's offering them up. No one's going to cause them any problem. They could still come through Food for Greater Elgin and get what they need. I mean, because a lot of families are just running short right now. And then what makes it even worse, we talk about the economy being a little messed up, but now we're talking that maybe they're not going to their jobs like they should be. So they're not earning the money they should be because they're in fear of going to the job, of maybe getting picked up or what have you, questioned, and whatever else would take place. So that's something that has to be taken in consideration as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, for example, inflation. And inflation is as high today as it was 12 months ago. We all go to a grocery store to buy eggs or milk. And we all know as consumers that everything is more expensive today than it was 6 months ago, 12 months ago. The impact to SNAP benefits, which was and is real, because even though the shutdown ended, judges did rule that the administration had to make payments.
Right.
Again, most of us have read about this. The partial payments have not been given out 100%. To my knowledge, there's no specific timeline that will guarantee that 100% of the SNAP benefits will be used up. And to put SNAP benefits into perspective, the average SNAP benefit on a monthly basis to a household is roughly $300 a month. So you take 300, you divide it by 4 weeks in a month, and then you think about how little that is.
Yeah.
But when the benefits are cut, how many families live so close to the line that the last time this happened, we saw a 50% increase in the number of times we help people on a 12-month basis. So it reflects how many families are barely able to make ends meet. And in the last 6 to 9 months, we've seen a doubling of the percentage of seniors, people over 60, who come to our pantry. And of that specific segment, over 40% of them are on both SNAP as well as Medicaid. And Medicaid cuts have not yet happened, but they will. And we've never seen that double combination before. So we're, as I like sometimes to say, we hope for the best. But back to your point about having food and resources, we definitely prepare for the worst.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and people don't realize when the government did take its shutdown, longest ever in history, the SNAP isn't just, like you say, the Hispanic community. We understand that. SNAP represents everybody that's under a certain income, okay? And this is a benefit that most cases the individuals worked for it. You're talking seniors. Seniors have worked for it. SNAP is something that, comes from a pool of taxes, we'll call it, that we've all put into. You put into your taxes, my taxes. So we're all putting into this. And for that to not be there, and you're talking a $300 SNAP payment, now, what was that? It's $75 a week, right?
Basically.
Yeah, give or take. So take that away. So $75 a week is huge. And that's barely enough for anybody to get, let's say they have a family, and even just take the senior, 2 individuals living by themselves. $75? What do you buy with $75 for a week? You're not going to buy any real proteins, which is what's great with what you supply for everybody. I mean, I've been through the line and I've watched what you do. And I tell you, I can't speak for a better facility. Clean, organized. You've got your the gentlemen that drive the trucks in that get the product in, and then they categorize it. They put it on your shelves. I mean, Emily, you pretty much handle those people, don't you, and the volunteers?
I'm not the volunteer coordinator, but I will speak to giving people a choice and treating people with dignity when they come is
Key.
very important to us.
Absolutely key.
The fact that people get to choose their own food, they can choose, if they would like to take milk, if they would like to take eggs, what kind of cheese they'd like, what kind of protein. We have meat and non-meat protein available. So that is a very important piece to us, is that people are treated with dignity and respect when they come to shop at the pantry.
And there is a variety of food. You swear to God, you're at a regular grocery store. I mean, even when I saw those Andreas mints, I mean, boxes and cases of Andreas mints they had there. It was like, you don't get that at a pantry of any type. And some people, they want that little extra because, these families, they still have birthdays, they still have anniversaries, they still have celebrations. Shouldn't they have a little something, little extra? Okay, maybe they didn't get like you're saying, the milk or this or that. So they said, well, I'll get one or two of these. But watching the process, because you allowed me to do so, your volunteers are so kind in assisting. And like you say, first and foremost is the dignity that you share and extend to the folks that are receiving the food. Matches your mission. Your mission's really very clearly stated, provide food security and access to community resources that stabilize lives. I mean, that's a mouthful right there. And mission statements are supposed to be impactful and short, no more than a sentence and a half from when I remember doing them. But, your organization, everything is in there. Your vision, the same thing. You empower the people to escape poverty. So by giving them a hand up, not a handout, is really what you're doing. You're trying to get them to, okay, got the food under control. Now, there's some other resources. And I know you have a lot of different places, like for job opportunities. Isn't there a place? I thought I saw on the one wall where people could go ahead and look at those different opportunities and maybe find themselves a job.
Absolutely. On a few points that you made, one is at the very core of our mission statement are the two words, stabilize lives, because we see ourselves, while we focus on food, we partner with more than 20 different organizations. And these organizations provide everything from, I mentioned Centro, they provide, for example, legal immigration help. We also partner with PADS. They provide short-term housing. Partner with both hospitals. We have Wellness Van. And between the two, on a weekly basis, they provide everything from vaccinations to wellness checks, as I mentioned, early childhood organizations. So quite a few there as well. And we also want to emphasize that people come to us when they need us. And sometimes people think that, it's a food pantry, people go there all the time. And one criterion we have, actually all the pantries in Northern Illinois Food Bank, is one household visit per week. So people do not come twice a week. And in fact, we look at our data very closely, and about 50% of our guests, our neighbors, came to our pantry no more than twice in the last 12 months. So again, it underscores how we want to help people get their lives back on track. We want to empower people, as you said, so that they can be productive citizens and again, get their lives back on track.
Yeah, and you would think, and you talk a food bank, you're talking a pantry. Okay, every week, come on, get your bag. We'll put this, that, and it's blindly put into a bag. And that person may never use those items. And they're either giving them away to somebody else or they even go to waste and spoil. The way you have yours set up, it's like it's like a grocery store.
You mentioned words like dignity, and every couple of years we do a guest survey, and Emily can talk to that, and also about the importance of choice and what our guests feel.
Yeah, it's important to us that we know how our guests feel about us, what their experience is when they come to shop with us. So every other year, we plan to survey them. We surveyed our guests last summer in 2024, and the responses were overwhelmingly positive. We weren't sure. That was the first time we had surveyed our guests. We weren't sure what to expect. But 95% of our guests said that they felt treated with dignity and respect, and that they felt safe when they come to shop with us. And we really couldn't have asked for a better outcome from that survey.
Sometimes I bet you're kind of like, I don't know. Should we ask this question or not? But how great is that?
Yeah, when
you ask the question and look at the response you got.
Yeah, when you ask for people's opinions, you never know what you're going to get.
No, you don't.
We also know that the top 3 priorities from our guests for why they come to shop with us, the top one is that they get to choose the food that they take with them. The next one is that they can speak to somebody in the language of their choice. And the third one is that the space is clean, that the waiting area and the warehouse is clean. So those were the top 3 things that we heard from our guests about what they appreciate about Food for Greater Elgin.
Fresh produce, I've worked a host of different jobs. Fresh produce is a mess, right or wrong. So, you'll get a head of lettuce in and maybe the couple of tiers are no good. So you got to take it off so it still looks presentable and, you could serve it. So, yeah, it could be really sloppy and messy. I am telling you, your section, the way you have it all, you have dry goods with the dry goods, frozen with the frozen. And what are those meals in the little...
The factor meals?
Oh, my God, those factor meals. I had them because I got one after I helped out with when we did the thing with Lexington.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you know what? I want to try one of these. I've never had a factor meal. And you can get them at Jewel.
Yeah.
And you're getting the same ones that you pay good money for in the Jewel that people that come through the line are able to get. So I tried a couple of them, and I had there was a taco one, a little spicy for me, and I like spice. Yeah, Italian. I mean, there was a rigatoni one in there. There was the meatloaf I think I had as well. There was a lot of variety in it. I had the Oriental mix as well. I'm going to tell you something. It's a good meal, and it's full.
Yeah.
I mean, it's filling. I mean, who could believe that? And you guys give those out like candy.
We just had somebody visiting the pantry today, and I was showing them around, and they mentioned when we walked by the produce, because we were just about to start distribution, and so all the produce was freshly stocked, and he said, this is better than you see at the grocery store. Yeah. None of this lettuce is brown, and these because we have the salad kits sometimes, and he's like, you see this at the grocery store, and the back of it might be browning, but this is amazing. So
yeah, it really is. I mean, it sounds like I'm your cheerleader over here, but I'm going to tell you, I've done nothing but work. I've been a volunteer my whole life. I do nothing but work with different charities, through Knights of Columbus, through Italian American organizations. And when I see food pantries, we do it by our church once a month. We give out the food. Same thing. I think it's Northern Food Bank. But to watch the way your facility runs and the cleanliness of the facility and your volunteers, they're always so happy. They're always so kind and nice. And again, all the other resources that somebody could get by walking into your building, whether they're looking for a job or, mental health is a serious thing right now. And I know you have people for referrals for there as well.
Yeah, I want to come back to, you mentioned our volunteers, and we cannot speak highly enough of our volunteers. We are, as you mentioned earlier, we're a very, very small staff for what we do.
Exactly.
And so we cannot operate without our volunteers. We have over 200 regular volunteers that help us. And I always tell people, anytime I talk with anyone about the pantry, if our volunteers all called in sick for a distribution, we would just have to close. We couldn't actually run a distribution without our volunteers.
That's great that you recognize them.
So,
and I know you do a lot of different things. You have a volunteer of the month, and you have a lot of different specials that you treat them as kind as you do everybody else.
Yeah.
And that speaks to the management that's there, Andres, and then yourself as well, Emily. Hey, everybody, we're listening and talking with Andre Diaz and Emily Tyler, and they are with the Food for Greater Chicago. So we're going to come back in just a few short moments, and we're going to talk some more. We're going to see what else is going on, and hey, maybe you want to help out. Don't be bashful. I'm going to leave on the screen their website and how to reach them. foodforgreaterelgin.org.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Cintas. Kane County law enforcement is stepping up traffic enforcement for the holidays. From November 21st through December 2nd, deputies, Illinois State Police, and local agencies will target speeding, distracted driving, impaired driving, and seatbelt violations. Officials remind drivers to buckle up, plan for sober rides, and call 911 if they spot an impaired driver. The campaign is funded by federal traffic safety grants. The Aurora Police Department will conduct canine training Monday in vacant homes on the city's east side. Canine teams are training until 4 p.m. in the 1600 block of Grove Street, according to an alert. Signs are posted in the area to alert residents. Police are asking locals and passerbys to give officers and canines space while they work through exercises. The U.S. trade deficit fell nearly 24% in August, dropping to $59.6 billion as imports slowed amid President Trump's global tariffs. The Commerce Department reports imports fell 5% to $340.4 billion following a surge in July as the company stocked up ahead of the tariffs, which took effect August 7th. Economists say the decline reflects both reduced foreign purchases and early impacts of the trade measures. Ford is recalling over 200,000 2025-26 Bronco and Bronco Sport vehicles due to a possible instrument panel failure that could leave drivers without key safety information. Owners will be notified starting December 8th to have the software updated at dealerships. 23-year-old Jenny Evaristo of Aurora has died following a two-vehicle crash Sunday afternoon in Hoffman Estates. The crash near Gulf and Bartlett Roads caused one vehicle to strike a tree and catch fire. Bystanders rescued the male occupant, but Evaristo was trapped and later extricated by firefighters. She was airlifted to Loyola University Medical Center, where she later died. Occupants of the second vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Think about it. You take thousands of steps every day. Shouldn't every single one of them feel amazing? Well, with Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins, they can. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to design a shoe that provides amazing arch support for all-day comfort. And best of all, you get all this comfort, stability, and support with the ease of Skechers slip-ins technology. Just slip them on. There's no bending down and no struggling to tie your shoes. Just step in and go. Try Arch Fit hands-free Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever comfortable footwear is sold.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. This afternoon, cloudy with a high near 48, temperatures falling to around 44. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 30. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 50, temperatures falling to around 47 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 46 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
WRMN. It's the talk of the town. So come on and listen now. It's Dino's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
Hey, and we are back. Second half of our second hour right here at Dino's Night Out. And we have some great guests in the studio today. We are talking with Food for Greater Elgin, and they do some great works over there. We have in the studio Andreas, Diaz, and we also have Emily Tyler. So I'm going to put their mics right back up. And there we go. Even though Andres doesn't talk into the mic too good, but that's okay. We'll work on him. But, yeah, we were talking about a lot of things, and when we went to the break, and I didn't want to short stop the last topic we were on, was your volunteers. I mean, I know volunteers make up any organization. And, you know, Emily, you wanted to bring up a few more items on that because they do. They make up, you know, the shortfall, if you want to call it. But there's only so much a staff can do.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and you mentioned, I just wanted to come back to, you had mentioned, you know, we try to do as much volunteer recognition as we can, a champion of the month. We also recently had a great gift from a corporate partner of ours in Brilliant Subaru of Elgin. They offered to give all of our volunteers free oil change and tire rotation. Oh, wow. And so, you know, I want to just, you know, that's a great way that we partner with a lot of different companies in the area. And Subaru offered that, and the volunteers just loved it. They just were so touched by that. So it's the small things that really make a big impact, and we try to tell our volunteers as much as we can how grateful we are for them.
Yeah, and I think they realize that. I've seen the smiles on their faces. I've seen on the walls all of the past recipients. You call them champions.
Yeah, champion of the month.
Champion of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that's it right there. You've got to recognize them. But again, if we go back to your mission that we spoke of, your values, everything that you do, the partnerships, the respect, you put that into everybody, not just the folks that are coming. If you didn't have a nice, comfortable setting in a work environment with the volunteers, you wouldn't have volunteers. So, I mean, you've done a great job with that. You really have. You know, some people think, well, what can I do? How am I going to help? Good example. Here you have the card dealer where it doesn't really have food to give. And maybe, you know, sometimes laying out that cash to let you guys go and buy more food is difficult. But they could do an in-kind type of thing to where that motivates your people, that gives the volunteers a little something who are there pretty regularly, I believe. Don't you have a crew that's there all the time?
Yeah, we have some that come daily.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know you have a lot. So here you got one person in town that says, well, you know what? Let's do something for the volunteers. And that way that'll keep them there, you know, make them comfortable, let them continue to work. And it's a little benefit that they're able to get by being there. I think that's kind of nice.
Absolutely.
I think that's really nice,
yeah,
to be honest with you. So, yeah, that speaks volumes. And you have a lot of people that are giving different food items, like, you know, the produce. We talked about that before. That's got to be the most difficult thing to keep in the place.
Yes. I mean, obviously, produce is limited by the weather, the conditions outside, and through the expansion of our network, as we partner with other food pantries, we share information. For example, Loaves and Fishes, they are bigger than we are. They're the largest food pantry in the Northern Illinois system. They're based in Naperville, and sometimes they will reach out to us and other pantries and say, we have an opportunity to buy, you know, canned fruit. Is anyone else interested in joining? So we'll join that. We also extend that opportunity to smaller pantries or agencies that don't have trucks, don't have the space we have. We also, back to produce, are thankful for example, Klein Produce, Kenyon Farms. They give us
and they're
produce.
Local. Kenyon Farms is very local.
Is very local. Mine Canyon is a well-known person in the Elgin business community.
Very generous in his donations all the time, Mike.
Absolutely. Klein Farms is another one, on an almost weekly basis. They say, do you guys want this, this, this? And of course we say yes, yes, yes. And so we're thankful for that. And also other partners, cheese merchants. The CEO is Bobby Greco, a very generous individual. Just this past week, we picked up a pallet of almost 500 gallons of milk.
Nice.
That and this is a good story because they're one of the largest cheese makers and distributors in the U.S., and they have this enormous facility. And Bobby reached out to me and said, someone accidentally gave us a pallet of milk. They don't want to go through the hassle of picking it up. Do you want it? So we sent Sergio, who's our truck driver, and so we picked it up, and now we have almost 500 units of milk to give away. And there are many other examples like that. We talked about San Filippo earlier. In addition to San Filippo giving food to the food bank, they also give directly to us. And in the past couple of weeks, they've given us pallets of peanut butter, which obviously is a type of non-meat protein because we like to have a variety of types of protein. So again, these are great partnerships, and we continue to be thankful for them as well.
I think what speaks volumes is the local donors. You're talking about Klein, San Filippo, Kenyon Farms. Mike Kenyon always helps people.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I mean, Greco, you're talking good people, monsters in the industry, which is just absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I mean, to get everybody to work with you and to turn this into what it is, I mean, that's just amazing. I mean, I'm to a degree lost for words on it because it's like, wow, there's a lot of people that are getting behind this and helping. Is there anything somebody could do? I mean, if you want the website, it's foodforgreaterelgin.org, just spelled out. FOODFOR, greater, GREATER, Elgin.org. You could see all that's available to you.
Yeah. We always need, we've talked already about volunteers. That is a huge way people can step up and help right now. We have just seen an incredible outpouring of support from the community in especially the last month, especially since SNAP benefits funding was paused. We not only saw a huge increase in volunteers signing up online, but also just a huge increase in financial giving to the pantry. We cannot say thank you enough for that. Because of the way that we source our food, we can, for every $1 that we receive, we can turn it into $8 worth of food. So, we also have seen a great increase in people wanting to do food drives, and those are awesome. We know there's great value in people actually giving a can of food, a box of spaghetti, whatever it may be. Whatever you spend at the grocery store on that food, we can do that times 8. So we're always grateful for food donations, but money donations can go a lot farther.
I'm sure they can.
And we just have been so grateful for people responding in huge ways.
It's a way to balance your inventory.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, we'll give them this, we'll give them that. There's only so much of that type of stuff you need. You do need a nice balance to your selections.
Yeah. I just also want to put a shout out to the people who have been in touch about food drives and asking specifically what are the specific things that we need at a certain time. And those change a lot at different times of year. I mean, even depending, if we get 7 pallets of peanut butter from San Filippo, we don't need peanut butter. No. But yeah, we really appreciate when people ask those questions and reach out asking, what's most helpful right now. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. And something that we hear from our guests all the time is hygiene products, and it's nothing more complicated than toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrushes, diapers. So those are things that are always in demand. And sometimes when we're approached, as Emily said, by these different organizations. They'll focus on food because everybody knows what a food drive is.
Right.
But sometimes it's a good idea to do something, as I mentioned, with toiletries and other types of products like that.
Sure. Hygiene items, it's always goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the money for the food, you're either shutting something down over here or minusing from another area. So it's, there's only so many things you could eliminate from your household needs.
Yeah.
If anybody has a question or a comment they would like to make, feel free to call in 847-931-1410, 847-931-1410. Call right here, WRMN. We're glad to take your call. Andres and you'll help me with your name.
Emily.
Emily.
You got it.
All the time. I always want to call you Eileen, and I don't know why. But
Come
Emily,
on, Eileen.
there you go. A singer, too. You don't sing
I love
on the
it.
line.
I don't ever give up the opportunity to throw a song in.
But I always mess up. I want to call you Eileen all the time. But they're happy to answer any questions for you. And what are the hours? That was the other thing. Can they go there every day? Or
Yeah, we're open 5 days a week for shopping. On Mondays and Thursdays, we're open from 5:30 to 8 p.m.
Wow.
Tuesday mornings, we're open from 9 to 11. Wednesday mornings, we're open 11 to 1. And then Fridays, we're open from 11 to 12:30. And Fridays are reserved only for seniors 60 and older. So if anyone younger than 60 comes, we try to make sure they leave with food, but then ask them to come back another time to shop.
Yeah, you never turn nobody away.
Right.
That's us. We're seniors, Did you hear that?
Well, I know.
Yeah, I am too.
I'll take it. I'm a senior. It doesn't bother me. All right, we're going to come back in just a few short moments. Great conversation over here we're having with Andres and Emily.
You got it.
Not Eileen. But yeah, we're talking about a lot of good things. And folks, get behind us. If you're able to give some type of monetary donation, please do so. Because now's when the time they need it. It's the holiday time. We have it, okay? If we could give a little bit, give a little bit. Don't go for that, fancy coffee with the maca lattes or whatever the heck you're putting in there. Just go for a regular old coffee. And maybe that would be the way you can cut back a little bit and help someone that's in need. All right, we'll be back in just a few short moments. WRMN 1410, talking with the Food for Greater Elgin, Andres and Emily.
When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com and let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
When your car needs trusted care, think All Around Auto Body in Schaumburg. Family owned for over 30 years, they deliver high-quality collision repair and dependable service from start to finish. Call 847-352-3825. They're located at 501 Morse Avenue in Unit D. Get your vehicle back in shape with the experts who care. All Around Auto Body, where your car is treated like family. Call 847-352-3825 today. Proud sponsors of America's First Responders Fest.
Hi there, Tammy Scully here from Talk Time with Tammy and Friends. Join me and my sidekicks Nancy and Becky for valuable lifestyle tips and unique views and insights on interesting topics and everyday situations, providing nonstop fun and chuckles for all. Get the scoop on consumer news, deep dive on current events, and learn about the newest economic trends, from exercise and gardening to music, travel, recipes, sports, pets, real estate, media, and everything in between. And it's all sprinkled with a healthy helping of bad dad jokes and interesting fun facts to boot. Tune in Mondays through Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for a little fun, frolic, and infotainment. Join us, won't you?
And we are back. Little temperament change on the music in the background, but it's all the same. We are here for Dino's Night Out. We're having a great discussion with Emily and Andreas, and we're talking to the folks. They run the Food for Greater Elgin. Great conversations. We're going to continue those conversations. So let's get right back into it. We wanted to talk about what's called the end of year. Could you explain what end of year is for you?
Yeah, for us, end of year campaign is a really important piece of our annual budget to bring in enough money to keep us running for the upcoming year. And this year, our goal for end of year is to raise $160,000. So we are well on our way. We do have some. We did a turkey match earlier in November, thanks to Panels Plus and McGrath Honda. We got a great response from that, raised twice as much as we had hoped. So that was a great kickoff to our end of year campaign. We are getting ready to start doing our Be the Sunshine in Winter is our end of year campaign theme, I guess you would say. And thanks to Colorword Creative, who we partner with on all things communication, design, strategy. They are just great partners with us. We will be doing a drawing for those who give at certain levels. So this year, we've done different things in the past. This year, we have a great partner in the restaurant Niche in Geneva. Those who give, for every $250 you give towards the end of year campaign, you can be entered in to win a dinner for 6 at Niche. And it's sure to be a fabulous experience with a wine or whiskey pairing. And they want you to make reservations in advance so they can, really wine and dine whoever the winner is of that drawing. We've also got a drawing for our board. Our board is donating their favorite wines along with some great nuts and chocolate from San Filippo. So we have those things coming up, and people can either donate and enter, or just donate to our end of year campaign on our website.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have a hard time reaching your goal of the $160,000? Has it gone up each year, I would assume?
Of course it does.
Okay.
Of course it does.
should.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. We are well on our way. I think we will get there. We also have a great Giving Tuesday match through the Hoffer Foundation for $25,000 for the day, Giving Tuesday. On that day, we were trying to raise $25,000 that day, and Hoffer Foundation will match that.
And that's also another good example of local. The foundation is part of the Hoffer family business. They've had a plastics materials company in Elgin for more than a couple of generations, and they're an employer in the city of Elgin as well.
What can we do at the radio station to help you? Is there can you think of some initiative or some type of thing we can do to give some assistance? We're happy to help. Let us know what we could do. I mean, if there's anything we could broadcast about it or anything, you just tell
Put
me
our
what it is.
posters on your windows?
We'll leave you with some posters to put in your window.
We'll also add it to the website.
And sharing that with people, we would be grateful for that. Absolutely.
And we'll make sure that we get that message out. You know, it's a great thing what you folks do, and you have to feel the reward from it. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't. You would have to feel the reward. And anybody that, once you give and you do something like this, whether it's a regular basis or a first time, it makes a big impact for the people that just don't have it. Plain and simple. That's what it is. So here's the Hey Sunshine, right?
Yeah.
So that's the
our most recent post on social media.
Here comes the sun.
A lot of big names. Yeah, here comes the sun.
Here comes the sun.
There you go. And you know, we had Cecilia just walked in the door.
That's right. We got that
She'll
one
be
too.
on our next show. Coming up
Song after
this.
song here.
Oh, it's the one-hit wonder. We got her, Emily, right here. One-hit wonder. You want to see her, this is the place to see her at. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on. And so much that, you know, Food for Greater Elgin, how long you been around?
The pantry has been around since 2011.
Yeah, that's a long time. Long time.
Unfortunately, yes.
Well, yeah, I wish that you didn't have to be in existence. We all wish for that.
Yep.
All the charities that we work, and even being a fireman, we used to say, put us out of a job. You know, stop being stupid and starting all these silly fires. You know, make us be, you know, jobless. But yeah, but what you do is it takes a big heart. It takes a good vision, because, you know, sourcing that food from the different organizations that you get it from, that's no easy task. You know, I know there's a lot of people that are out that are charitable. Like we mentioned, the local supporters and the local partners. You got the Kenyon Farms, Klein Farms, San Filippo, and Greco are big supporters for you. Not to mention, I've seen a host of other local partners. But you hear that music, that means we're at the top of the hour. We talked about a lot of things. Folks, get behind Food for Greater Elgin. It's not going to hurt you, okay? And you go right to foodforgreaterelgin.org. It'll have all the information that you need. These are great folks that tirelessly work. They give of themselves. Whatever they're making is not enough. So Andreas and Emily, they pretty much head up the facility. Would you not say? That's their statement.
It takes an organization along with many volunteers.
Yes,
so.
you do. And you have just, again,
Partnership.
limited people that are working those trucks and helping fill those shelves. So we thank you very much for everything that you do.
Thank you for having us.
Get ready for
This is the Dino's Night Out, WRMN,
downtown St.
1410.
Charles at
And we'll
Osho,
catch you next
where
week.
live music, dining, and entertainment come alive. Visit the iconic Arcada Theater at 105 East Main Street and experience the venue voted Chicagoland's premier entertainment destination. Whether you're enjoying a headliner concert, dining at Rock and Ravioli, or hitting the speakeasy at Club Arcada, Osho's creates memories. Tickets and event info at oshows.com, and you can call 630-962-7000. That's 630-962-7000. Make your reservation, bring your friends, and plan your next event at Osho's. Live music, dining, and entertainment, all in one place. Visit oshows.com and join the fun tonight. Supporter of the America's First Responder Fest.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 4 o'clock.